Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight the PE Show proudly brings to you his first video of the week, a Raw review for the night of March the 2nd, 2015. Make sure you guys go down there and hit that subscribe button. We finally reached 800 subscribers, so I thank you guys very much. The road to 900 finally officially starts, and of course the race to 1,000 is always on. And speaking of 1,000, we reached 1,000 Twitter followers over the weekend, so thank you guys so much for that. And please, if you have not joined in on the fun, please, down in the description box at the PTE Show, we live chat during Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, and all sorts of that jazz. If you're here from Twitter, you already know pretty much whenever I'm on Twitter, it's a damn party, and you know exactly that. And tonight was held in Newark, New Jersey. I believe this was around the site of the infamous post-WrestleMania 29 show, so which kept the whole tradition of WrestleMania crowds alive. And tonight was pretty much no different, especially towards the end. This is a very vocal crowd and not a boring one at all. And as we tested last week, I'm going to take this off a little bit because we did get a little headset here. I don't know if you guys actually noticed the difference. I feel like I'm a little bit more fluent this week than I was last week. But as we tested last week, there's really not much of a limit as we go on the show. I believe last week was actually 20 minutes, and I have no promises as to how long this one's going to be. So let's dive right into this. I'm sure you guys are done hearing me ramble about my own shit, and let's talk about what happened on tonight's Raw. Of course, tonight was mainly focused on the Seth Rollins and Jon Stewart thing that's been building up since, I think, one promo after the Royal Rumble or something like that, calling out Jon Stewart that he could take over the Daily Show, and Jon Stewart replied to him and everything, and it even got to the point where Seth Rollins actually made an appearance on the Daily Show, I believe it was last week, calling him out, saying that if you have the balls, if you have the guts, come to my show, come to Monday Night Raw, and we'll settle this face-to-face, and that's exactly what happened tonight. But tonight, I feel that, especially on this road to WrestleMania, this is Seth Rollins' transition. You're witnessing Seth Rollins evolve before your very eyes, and to be honest, I don't think a lot of you guys actually notice it. The Royal Rumble was his kind of, not really crowning achievement, but it showed that he can really work with main guys like Cena and Brock. And now, over these next 2 months that they've had to build up to WrestleMania, they're using this to make Seth Rollins a legit player. And tonight was absolutely no different. They made Jon Stewart actually he was actually very good in his role today. I don't really say that a lot. I know a lot of us don't say that a lot about celebrity guest hosts. But Jon Stewart really did his job tonight. He stirred the pot about Seth Rollins being the poster boy for the Authority and everything. And it was funny because this was all supposed to be a big parody of how the Daily Show is run and everything. And it's funny because Jon Stewart is supposed to be retiring from the Daily Show very soon. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be using his popularity to try and bring it over here to Raw. And it's working because Seth Rollins has definitely developed some mainstream media attention for the WWE over the last several weeks with his feud with Jon Stewart, and I would not be shocked to see Jon Stewart somehow at WrestleMania, somehow involved in this Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, or involved in this storyline of Seth Rollins finally evolving into a legit player. And they kind of called it out tonight with the whole briefcase thing. I mean, Jon Stewart even said, you didn't win that fairly, if it wasn't for Kane's help. And before that, he was ambushed by Seth Rollins to begin with. But he did kind of stir the pot as to, could there potentially be a cash-in at WrestleMania against Reigns and Brock? And to be honest, I can definitely see it. I've been predicting this since Survivor Series when this happened, when all these rumor things actually started going down between Reigns and Brock. Now that it's confirmed, there's a very good chance that we could see Seth Rollins walk out of WrestleMania, walk out of Levi Stadium, walk out of the Silicon Valley as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And there's a very good possibility of it. And all the mainstream media attention that this man has garnered from his on-air feud with Jon Stewart is definitely going to transform into positivity for his character in WWE if they manage to give him the championship. And a lot of you guys, and excuse me, me personally too, we were starting to think WWE wasn't even going to give Rollins the title because of that whole scandal thing. You guys know about that, Penisgate, when photos of him on the internet kind of surfaced. Water takes on the air, gotta love it. No, when those pictures came on the air and actually not on the air, when they came online and they surfaced online, and it was actually on WWE's Superstar page for him and everything, people were actually starting to think that Seth Rollins' push was actually going to end here, and turns out WWE just kind of pushed it under the rug, said, Seth, don't worry about it, and he hasn't lost a step since that, and I believe that was at the beginning of February. Ladies and gentlemen, it is March the 2nd, going on March the 3rd when you're going to hear this, and I see no stoppage as to the push of Seth Rollins, so it looks like Seth Rollins is going to be full-fledged heading into WrestleMania with a chip on his shoulder. And speaking of chips on his shoulder, what a lovely segue to move into our next appointment. Paul Heyman, ladies and gentlemen. That man dropped fire on the microphone like he's Wiz Khalifa. And ironically, Wiz Khalifa is going to be performing next week on Raw. I don't know if you guys heard about that. Wiz Khalifa is going to be on Raw next week. So if you guys need to take a shit or take a piss sometime during the show next week, which it probably, because you're probably not going to get a good Raw like this for a while, at least maybe until the go-home show. But if you need to take a bathroom break, please, there you go. Do it during that concert, because who cares? Who really does? I mean, they're going to be in Pittsburgh, which is his big city. But that's another story for another day. We have tons more topics to talk about later tonight, so I'm sure we'll gloss right back over that. But what were we talking about? Paul Heyman spitting fire on that microphone, and you could tell that maybe in his demeanor and the way that he was saying everything, that man was legit pissed off. And we forgot to mention this last week, and that's probably because it became a major story over the last week, with Brock Lesnar actually walking out of WWE, walking out last week on Raw. Well, he didn't walk out on Raw. He walked out behind the scenes right before the promo between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, the one that everyone was freaking out about because Paul Heyman put him over like the son of God, and said he'd put his money on Roman if he was fighting San Martino and Rocky and Austin and all those guys. That one, apparently, from what I've heard, and I don't know, please, if you guys have made it this far into the podcast, well, I don't even want to call this a podcast. So I'm just saying we're just talking. We're talking about Raw, and I want to hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. And so according to what I've heard, Brock Lesnar was backstage last week. He was not happy, and apparently from what I've heard, that it was over some sort of contract negotiations. No, it was not, because Roman failed a drug test like Bryan fans were starting to think, and it wasn't creative plans or anything. Apparently it was over his current contract. He wants to fight for the UFC and for the WWE. That's one big caveat that he wants in his contract. And I don't know how WWE is going to go about that. And I'm going to close my laptop speaker because I don't want to feel like I'm being limited to a time limit right now. So I hope you guys don't mind if I just kind of close the laptop screen a little bit and then keep talking. So what was I saying? Okay, so Brock walked out, and that was the whole thing. The whole caveat is he wants to fight for the UFC and fight for the WWE. And, to sign a contract like that would be like Triple H in 2000 or in 1999 signing a contract with WWE and WCW. And WWE legit considers the UFC competition, so why would they let Brock, who right now is their current World Heavyweight Champion, sign with the UFC and make millions of dollars for Dana White, and then come back to WWE, maybe once every 2 months, maybe once every 3 months if Vince is feeling nice about it. Like, I don't know, maybe I interpreted that a little wrong, but I feel that it's just Brock just being Brock. It's just, it's politics, and right now WWE really doesn't need that. With their fans pretty much hijacking pretty much everything. With Bryan, with the whole Bryan thing over the last couple months, this big Give Divas a Chance movement, which I will talk about in just a second here, because there's a little story that happened tonight that I'm sure a lot of you guys are actually waiting for me to talk about. So we're going to be talking about that in just a minute here. But they're facing a lot of criticism, and not a whole lot more for the Rusev character, but the Rusev character's kind of adding on to it. Not a whole lot, but it's not a good look for the WWE right now. So they're facing a lot of scrutiny right now. So to have their world champion walk out on a live show, a live televised show, that's not good for them. That really isn't. But I believe I left that comment on, I believe, an ITRS video. So if you guys want to go check out, I believe it was the rant off that they did with the Schleg Daddy, go check that out. I don't remember if that's what it was or it was on a YouTube comment. I don't remember which one it was off the top of my head. But Paul Heyman tonight, though, I know I went completely off topic. I did want to touch on the Brock Lesnar walking out segment thing. But Paul Heyman tonight destroyed it. It was funny because he was legit trying to put over Roman Reigns last week. Turns out this week he did nothing like that. I mean, yeah, he did kind of refer back to his "my money's on Roman Reigns" thing and everything, but that man spit, flip, and fire, and I don't even want to speak for him. I want you guys to put me on pause if you have not listened to this, and even if you did, please put me on pause. Put me on pause. I'm asking you to put me on pause and go check out that rant video, and then come back and let me know what you guys think about that, because I'm not even going to try and interpret his words for him. I want him. Let him speak for himself, basically. But I want to say that promo was excellent. That promo definitely left a big feel for the rest of the show. And, I don't know. I mean, with this Roman Reigns-Brock Lesnar build, I didn't like it at first. I mean, at first, I felt that it was going to be a dud, just like everyone else did. Then that Raw got canceled episode happened, when Raw was snowed in and they had to have it at the headquarters. And then Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns had their standoff and their face-off and everything. And Paul went in yet again, just like Paul always does. And we finally had the face-off between Roman and Brock, and that shit was gold. And then I don't know what WWE did down that road. Maybe they just thought, hey, let's try and garner some sort of reaction for Roman Reigns, because I'm pretty sure WWE does not want their next face of the company to, when he comes out, have absolutely nobody care. Which I'm sure that's what they did. I think they'd much rather have him have the fans boo for him than come out to just complete silence. But what was I saying? So they put him in that feud with Bryan, which in turn actually hurt Bryan even more. And you could definitely tell tonight during his match with Luke Harper. You could tell during that match with Luke Harper that the fans were kind of like iffy. They weren't really like how they were at the beginning of the year when he announced that he was coming back and everyone went apeshit crazy and everything. And you could tell that something was missing, and something still kind of is missing. And maybe it is because Daniel Bryan is kind of left out of the build of WrestleMania right now. He's kind of being resorted to an Intercontinental Championship match that really isn't worth a whole lot right now. Which in turn is actually something good for the IC title. It brings some face and brings some prestige to the IC title. So, let me check the time real quick. See, we got 13 minutes. That's not a problem. Last week's was 20 minutes. I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind if it was a little longer. So what were we talking about? Oh, the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar build. So, to be honest, it feels like I am getting ready for this match, but it has that feel that it could potentially turn into be a Montreal Screwjob thing. Like, because Brock's being legit pissed off at the company for contractual obligations and shit, and the crowd doesn't like Roman Reigns very much, and I'm pretty sure that when it comes to Silicon Valley, when we get to Levi's Stadium, home of the San Francisco 49ers, once we get there, I'm pretty sure those people are not going to take very lightly to Roman Reigns either. So, ladies and gentlemen, we could have a potential Montreal Screwjob on our hands at WrestleMania. Some sort of controversy where maybe neither guy walks out with the belt. Maybe they do go through with having Seth Rollins win the World Heavyweight Championship. And then, we've heard a lot of rumors saying they want to get CM Punk's name off the history books as being the longest champion of the modern era. Maybe they let Seth Rollins hold the belt for a year, maybe a little longer. I don't know exactly how you take it off of him, but I can definitely see WWE trying to put Seth Rollins over CM Punk and kind of erase CM Punk's name from the history books, especially after all the crap that he's done to them over the last couple of months, about a year now. So, I'm slowly gaining more interest back into Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, but I do feel that the aspect that we could have a controversy is really what I think is keeping people involved and lingering more people to be actually interested in this match is the fact that you really don't know. We could honestly have Brock Lesnar have his entrance, Roman come down, he can legit go MMA fucking mode, UFC World Heavyweight Champion mode before he had his half of his colon removed, and have him beat the living fuck out of Roman Reigns on live pay-per-view, and it could possibly happen because Brock is that pissed off right now, and I'm pretty sure Brock would do something like that. So I think it's because there's a possible controversy that is making people feel like this is the match that they do want to see. So I don't know. Maybe that's the way that I think about it. I'm intrigued as to what we do see at WrestleMania 31, whether they do go through with having Roman Reigns win the belt, whether they have Brock keep the belt, which would be very shocking, and of course the third option C, letting Rollins cash in on either Brock or Roman at the end of the night. So, Paul on the mic, though, was just absolutely fantastic, and that led into our main event, which was built up from the first promo of the night, which was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. So, Rollins ended up getting the win, which does further solidify, further conclude my point of having this be the evolution of Seth Rollins. They're finally going. They're going to really put this guy in the main event, and I think that the Royal Rumble, putting him in that match with Cena and Lesnar, I think that was WWE's test as to see if Seth Rollins would be able to handle something like that. And obviously he was. He was the shining star the entire night. So obviously we know WWE is capable of letting Roman Reigns run with the belt. So, I would see no real bad reason to give him a shot at the world title at WrestleMania, whether that be for a cash-in, and then after this, do what you got to do with him. Maybe you got to put him again with Cena to try and get him over a little bit more. Not like he's having that problem at all. I mean, especially during tonight. Granted, that was a lot of cheap heat that he got, making fun of the New Jersey crowd and everything. So maybe if you take the cheap heat out and see what he actually does garner when you hear his entrance music and when he actually performs in the ring and everything, and you're able to generate a reaction just from that, then we can go from there. So let me check, see how long we got here. We're 17 minutes in. That's not a problem because you guys love last week's episode. So what else happened tonight? Oh, the IC Championship. Apparently, maybe our Indiegogo fund didn't work, or maybe I was just lazy and we didn't actually make the page yet. Trust me, I will get right on that once we go off the air here tonight. Bad News Barrett needs that duct tape, like bad. He needs that duct tape bad. Today, I think it went from Dean Ambrose to R-Truth, then to Luke Harper, then back to Barrett, then back to Harper. Or was it? No. Yeah, no. It was then to Barrett, then to R-Truth, then to... See, they play fucking hot potato with this goddamn thing. And is that supposed to be build up for this big fucking ladder match that we're supposed to be getting? Like I'm supposed to be so intrigued because 5 million, the entire roster stealing the fucking belt. Like, what kind of shit is that? Like, at least we saw flipping Serious Cena again tonight, and he kind of put over Axelmania in a little bit, in a little controversial fashion, I guess you could say. A lot of people didn't like how Axel was kind of just thrown to Cena like a piece of meat. But the IC title right now, that is not. And I went on this saying last week, I went on this big soliloquy last week about, putting guys like Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan is going to help build this division. Well, not when you have the goddamn title being thrown around like a goddamn hot potato every week. Like, that shit was funny at first, but we have 3 weeks or something like that, 3 weeks to build up for WrestleMania, and you're building this shit up like it's a goddamn kid show. And okay, before y'all jump on me, I know it's a kid show, but you're jumping on it like it's serious, like we're messing with a bunch of bandits. Like, this is fucking Sly Cooper 4. So I don't know. It's not the way you build the IC title. You don't have it fucking jumping around from person to person to person to person to person. And I can get it if it was maybe a mockery of the fact that the title was changed hands, like 8 different times in the last half of last year between Miz and Ziggler and Barrett and Ziggler and Harper and Ziggler. And did I mention Dolph Ziggler? I think I mentioned Dolph Ziggler. And speaking of Dolph Ziggler, he was the one holding the title at the end of the night. So I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know who is building this up, who's writing the storyline for this, but this is not how you build this up. You're making Bad News Barrett look like an absolute fool. So whatever. I don't know. Is it going to deliver at Mania? I hope so. You got a lot of promising guys there. You got Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, Bad News Barrett, Luke Harper, and the list is probably going to go on because I don't know how many people are actually going to be in this. But we have a lot of time to really build this up, and I hope they do it in a good way and stop throwing that shit around like it's a goddamn hot potato. Get some duct tape for Bad News Barrett because he desperately needs it. As I mentioned before, Serious Cena made his kind of return tonight. Basically, him and Steph battle on the mic. Usually, when Steph and Cena are on the microphone, they tend to deliver 99% of the time. Usually, and it happens a lot more than you think. So, basically, the entire thing is Cena wants another shot at Rusev. Stephanie says basically no, and it's Rusev's decision as to if Cena and Rusev are going to fight at WrestleMania, which probably eventually they're going to. So Cena goes on and says he's declaring himself for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which Stephanie then says, no, you're not doing that, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Cue Curtis Axel coming out, and Serious Cena came out and basically trashed Curtis Axel, and that's the way it looked. Of course, that wasn't exactly what happened. I feel that putting him in the ring with Stephanie and John Cena only just helped him elevate him, helped elevate him. And right now, being the little guy from Rybaxel, so this is a step in the positive direction. And it's probably all going to be built up to some sort of Hulk Hogan moment backstage at WrestleMania. So I'm sure that's the way they're going to go with that. But more build up to the John Cena Rusev stuff. And I kid you not, guys, we are 1 week, 2 weeks removed from when I said it, and I'm going to say it again because if you haven't listened to my show before, you're going to listen to it now. John Cena and Rusev is the best goddamn thing in WWE right now, bar fucking none, and there's absolutely nothing that can compete with it, with the exception of maybe Sting and Triple H, if they build it right. And obviously tonight, I don't think they did that really well. I feel that Triple H, and I'm sorry if it feels like I'm dragging this on, there's actually a lot of stuff that happened today, and I haven't even mentioned the Divas stuff, so I think we actually might end it with the Divas stuff. But Triple H can't hold a feud really himself. I think I kind of worded that wrong. Triple H cannot build a program by himself, is what I'm saying. And that does not, what am I trying to say? That does not apply to people like Bray Wyatt. And that's another one we're going to talk about in just a second. But I did promise you guys that I was going to be making that video for Bray and Undertaker later, so I'm not going to dive in a whole lot with that. But with Sting not being there every week and Sting not showing up or not having some sort of video promo for him, and Triple H is using guys like Ric Flair and Booker T and Arn Anderson and all these people and P.S. Hayes to build this feud up, it really hurts it. It really does. And Triple H, and that's just because Triple H is not able to carry a feud by himself, because normally he's usually the one that is being carried by the other person. Cue Daniel Bryan, CM Punk for a little while, especially back in 2011, that was the case. I don't really want to say Undertaker. I feel that him and Triple H, or him and Shawn did a majority of that build up for WrestleMania 28. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, perfect example there. He's kind of the guy that is being carried by the guy who carries the feud. So for him to be the guy that has to carry this feud, it does not work for him. And maybe it is just because of inexperience with that, because he's used to carrying that guy that has carried the feud. you can only do so much with when someone's not there. And then, like I said, a nice little segue into Bray Wyatt and Undertaker today. Same thing applies for Bray Wyatt, but at least Bray Wyatt is able to hold that damn feud by himself. He's still managed to keep curiosity in this feud. The more it's written, the more it feels like it's going to be a casket match, and the more that it feels like it's going to be Taker's last match, which it should feel like, because this should be his last match. Hell, this match shouldn't even be happening, but that's another story for another day. And I think I touched on pretty much everything besides the Divas thing, and you guys pretty much already know what happened to that. I don't think I even have to really dive into it, but I guess I will, out of respect for the Divas. We had a Divas title match between Nikki Bella defending her title against Paige, and your little give the Divas a chance movement really did work, although a lot of that match was on the WWE app, and people were still complaining, like, okay, do you people not have smartphones or something? You guys can't download an app and watch the majority of the match on there? Why are y'all bitching that there was a commercial on? Like, it's not like WWE, it's not like they pause their matches during commercials and it's like, okay, we're back on commercial. Make it look like you were doing something. No, they don't do that shit. But it was an okay match. I'm not going to say it was a great match. I'm not going to say it was a good match. It was an okay match. It was not a pay-per-view quality match like we all thought it was going to be. I believe it was Nikki that got disqualified because Paige had her in the PTO, and Brie came out and they started beating up on her, and cue the illustrious return of Miss AJ Punk Lee. And AJ Lee came out and kind of cleared house with Paige, so it looks like they're back together. Because we're supposed to forget that Paige threw her off the stage, and I think it was AJ that ate a chocolate out of her mouth, and they were lesbian lovers for a while, and then they were hated. They hated each other for a while, and then they were best friends for a while. And I don't know. Maybe we're supposed to forget about that because it's WWE and that's what's best for business, but I really have nothing to say. I'm not excited. I'm not really that excited because I'm one of the biggest AJ critics on here. I'm the one that's sitting here saying that I don't feel that AJ's really had a fantastic match. I mean, besides the one that she had with Caitlyn at, I believe that was Payback 2013, I want to say, or something like that. The one that she had with Caitlyn, that was probably her best match. And that was maybe a 3.5 out of 5, maybe at best. So if anyone can point me to a good AJ Lee match on the main roster, I'll give AJ credit. But right now, her being another face in the Divas division is meh. I don't mind. I don't care. I don't mind. But anyway, I think that's about all we have to cover on tonight's episode of Raw. 27 minutes, you guys. So I loved being here. Every minute, every second, every millisecond going by. I loved being here. I love talking with you guys. And yeah, it feels like the more that this show goes on, the more it's starting to feel like it's a damn podcast. And it's not. I don't know if I want to go into that world yet because I know a lot of my buddies on here are going into that world, and I don't have all the time in the world to devote to a podcast just yet. Maybe somewhere down the line that's still in the realm of possibility, but right now these 20-30 minute reviews is probably the most you're going to get out of me, at least right now. And a lot of it's just me blabbering on and all sorts of stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed my rambling, and if you guys have any questions, if you guys leave any thoughts on what you guys thought about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, leave those down in the comment section below. And like I said before, if you have not subbed already, please, the road to 900 officially starts now, and of course the race to 1,000 is always right there. Follow me on Twitter at the PTE Show. We live chat during Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, and all sorts of that jazz. It is a party every time that I'm on. Friend me on Facebook. Don't be a stranger, and write to me whenever you guys can, and leave your comments, and I'm not going to do this right now. I'm probably going to release an announcement video regarding this, but leave your comments down in the comment section below regarding Undertaker and Bray Wyatt questions, because I will be answering every question that you guys have for this feud down in the comments section below. I plan on making that a big video sometime in the future. I don't know if that's going to be before or after WrestleMania. I don't know, but we're going to be breaking it down to the nitty fucking gritty. So maybe I can get a couple buddies on here with me and help me out. And yeah, that's going to be it for us tonight, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. And our party is officially over as we finally hit the 30-minute mark. I think this is the longest Raw review I've ever done. At least by myself, because I know I've done Google Hangouts with a lot of my friends before. And until next time, I am out. This is Perry the Entertainer, signing out. Peace. I will see you guys tomorrow for #spoilers, the hit new web show that is sweeping the nation. Peace out, guys.